Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis Morning Show. My name is Mike. Today is February 1st, 2013. Friday means I'll be discussing my 5 burning questions heading into this weekend's action. 5 factors that I think could play a huge role in determining the outcome of this weekend's games. Obviously, with the sole focus this weekend being on the Super Bowl, this will be the Super Bowl edition of Friday's 5 burning questions. Let's get right to it. Without further ado, question number 1. How healthy is 49ers defensive end Justin Smith? I think that this question plays a huge role in determining the outcome of the Super Bowl from both a Ravens and a 49ers point of view. I mean, look at the 49ers point of view first, obviously. Let's not forget, in the NFC Championship game, Matt Ryan carved them up pretty good. All right, he had 400 yards passing. He was able to do some damage on that 49ers defense from a passing perspective. And most of that was because, and it's been the case for about the last 3 or 4 weeks, the 49ers have not been able to muster much of a pass rush. Let's not forget, throughout most of the season, they were able to put pressure on the quarterback without blitzing an exorbitant amount of the time. And a large part of that was due to the play of Aldon Smith and Justin Smith. Well, since Justin Smith's injury later in the season, it's also affected Aldon Smith's ability to rush the passer. So I think if you get a less than stellar Justin Smith, that will lead to getting a less than stellar Aldon Smith, as we have for the last month or so. And I think that severely impacts the 49ers' ability to put pressure on the quarterback. What does that lead to from a Ravens point of view? The Ravens, they're going to hit you one of 2 ways in the passing game. They're going to hit you intermediate with Dennis Pitta, or they're going to hit you long to Anquan Bolden, Torrey Smith, Jacoby Jones. That's just how the Ravens offense plays. That's Joe Flacco's strength, throwing deep. If the 49ers are not able to put pressure on Joe Flacco with their front and they're forced to blitz, or they just try to get pressure with the front 4 or front 3 and can't do it, well, I think you're going to see Joe Flacco have a pretty good game here. And I think the health of Justin Smith is really going to determine whether the 49ers can put pressure on the quarterback or not. Very few teams, when the 49ers are full strength, can really keep them at bay, and their pass rush at bay, I should say. So that'll be an interesting thing to monitor here in Super Bowl XLVII. Question number 2. Which team's linebackers will be able, and safeties, will be able to cover the other team's tight end the best? Both teams feature very good tight ends, difference-making tight ends, really. If you look at how these quarterbacks have taken off here during the playoffs, whether it's Joe Flacco or Colin Kaepernick, both have used their tight ends strategically to their advantage in very big spots. Flacco consistently this playoffs with Dennis Pitta, most notably in the AFC Championship game, and also Colin Kaepernick uses Vernon Davis heavy in the NFC Championship game, really exploits a weakness in the Atlanta defense. So which linebacking core and safeties can do a better job covering the other team's tight ends? Again, I think that's going to be a huge issue in this game. I look for the 49ers to hit the Ravens with 2 tight ends, Vernon Davis and Delaney Walker. And I look for, Joe Flacco will definitely be targeting Dennis Pitta. I think the combination of Ray Rice, if he can run inside, and middle of the field, mid-range passes to Dennis Pitta will open up that long passing game that the Ravens, look to exploit and look to go to each and every game. So keep an eye out early on which tight end's getting open in space, and who's winning the battle there. I think it's going to be a pretty good matchup to monitor here. Question number 3: what impact will David Akers have on this game? David Akers, the kicker for the 49ers, 29 for 42 in the regular season on field goals, missed his only field goal attempt in the NFC Championship game. Actually, I can't remember if it was his only attempt, but he did miss a 38-yarder in the NFC Championship game. He had a great season last year, sets an NFL record for field goals made, comes back this year, has a terrible season. Jim Harbaugh stays behind him, sticks with him, heading into the Super Bowl here. I think that with 2 weeks in between games, if I'm Jim Harbaugh, I don't know if I'm sticking with David Akers. I know he's my guy. I know he's a veteran, but you're taking a big chance going with a kicker with a little bit of a frazzled mind here heading into the Super Bowl. I would have liked them to keep Akers for kickoffs and then bring someone in to kick field goals. I just think you leave yourself in a tough spot where if Akers does miss a big kick, or who knows, maybe miss a big kick at the end of the game even, you're just setting yourself up for some pretty big criticism if that happens. But look, Jim Harbaugh's been a guy all year that hasn't been afraid of criticism. All right, and he's obviously showing that with this move as well. So it'd be interesting to see if David Akers has a serious impact on the outcome of this game. Question 4: which running back, if either of them, will have success running in between the tackles? Again, for both of these teams, that's a huge factor. If you ask me, the best offensive player on both of these teams is each team's prospective starting running back. Ray Rice for the Ravens, Frank Gore for the 49ers. It'd be a rare matchup between two teams where running back is their best position, being that the NFL is now largely a passing league. I look for the Ravens to try to get Ray Rice going early, because again, if they can get Ray Rice going early or the short passing game going early, either to Ray Rice or Pitta, it really opens up down the field what the Ravens truly want to do on offense. And if the Ravens can ever establish the run enough to make the play action worth something, I think you could see them have a very successful day on offense. And, the 49ers have yielded in the regular season just under 90 yards per game on the ground. No one's really been able to run on them. We'll see if the Ravens can have success, if they've come up with some new blocking schemes in these last 2 weeks to sort of exploit, that 49ers run defense. From the 49ers offense point of view versus the Ravens defense, look, they're going to try to run the ball different ways. Okay? They can get Frank over the ball either via a straight, conventional handoff. They can get it to him on a pitch in space, getting to the outside of the defense off that read option. So I think it's imperative for the Ravens to run inside versus the 49ers. Because the 49ers running attack is so dynamic, I don't know if it's necessary for them to get a push up the middle and run in between the tackles on the Ravens to win the game. But I think if they do, they will absolutely dominate the game. Because if you're going to allow Frank Gore to gash you in between the tackles, and then you throw the Colin Kaepernick factor into the mix, you throw the Michael James factor into the mix on the outside, and you just have a recipe for what could be a disaster for the Ravens. So I think if the Ravens even have a chance to win this game, they have to completely eliminate the 49ers' ability to run up the middle. And obviously Haloti Ngata will play a big role in that, and Ray Lewis will play a big role in that. The 49ers' offensive line, very well thought of. Very good offensive line, littered with first-round picks there on the offensive line. Are they able to establish Frank Gore between the tackles? If they are, I think they really cruise to a win, because then I think it's just too hard to stop all the other things that they can do. But these two running backs, great players. Looking forward to see how they impact Super Bowl 47. Last question, all right? And it's the question I think everyone's going to ask from a 49er standpoint, is that can Colin Kaepernick keep up this magic carpet ride and this absolutely phenomenal story he has going in the playoffs here? Now you look at a guy like Kaepernick. Kaepernick was either the 40 or the 41st pick in last year's draft. That number's slipping my mind right now, but he was the second round pick in last year's draft. He was the 5th or 6th quarterback taken. All right, he comes in towards the end of this year, right after the halfway point here, for an injured Alex Smith. Has had some minor bumps in the road. The game against the Rams sort of pops in my head as a bump in the road. But since then, has really played well, has really peaked in the playoffs, okay, whether it was with his feet against the Packers or whether it was with his arm against the Falcons, brought the team back from 17-0 down. Will this magic carpet ride continue for Kaepernick? If Kaepernick should win this game and be a Super Bowl winning quarterback, he's going to be an absolute rock star. Because if there's one quarterback that I think, all things told, his athletic ability, he's even got the tattoos, he's got a little bit of an attitude, he wears the cap like the young kids do. I think if he wins, he becomes a rock star, and he becomes like the new younger face of the NFL. At least, until the next flavor of the month comes along. But, I think this could launch Kaepernick into superstardom if he wins this game. And it'd be interesting to see, if the Ravens take away his legs, like the Falcons did, give him credit, is Kaepernick able now, in a big spot in the Super Bowl, able to stay patient back there and take what the defense gives him, or does he try to bite off a little more than he can chew and make big plays and maybe cost his team in a big spot? I think the young quarterback in the Super Bowl, coming off 2 great playoff performances, is a huge storyline in this game. And, just like everyone else, I'm sort of hanging on this kid's every next play. And it's exciting watching his development. It's exciting watching his development even more during a playoff run. And we'll see how that unfolds here. But those are my 5 burning questions for Super Bowl 47. Be sure to subscribe to my channel here, guys, to get not only all of my daily morning show videos delivered directly to your feed here on YouTube, but I also do sports talk videos throughout the day on particular topics. So be sure to subscribe. Thanks as always for listening. Enjoy Super Bowl 47. Enjoy the last football game of the season. And I'll be back on Monday with another morning show. And I'll be back this weekend with some other sports talk videos for you. Thanks as always for listening, and have a great Friday.